feel really vulnerable. It's just us two, Morrigan and our trusty dog. The Earl of Redcliffe. Seek out Earl Eamon. Alistair thinks that you should seek the help of of Eamon Guerin, the Earl of Redcliffe. Earl Eamon is a highly respected noble and has a great deal of influence in the Landsmeet. Alistair believes that he will certainly aid you once he learns about Logain's betrayal. So there's the Earl I have to contact. A paragon of her kind. Gain Orzamar's help in battling the Blight. I don't want to go back to Orzammar. You need to travel deep underground, great, to the fabled dwarven city of Orzammar. The awful city of Orzammar. The frustrating city of Orzammar. To earn the trust of her king and dwarven troops for your army. Oh, yeah. They're going to love to see me, aren't they? They're just going to be thrilled. Oh, you dishonored our proving. We wanted to kill you, and you got out of it. By draining the Grey Wardens and running to the surface. Nature of the beast. Gain the cooperation of the Dalish clans. The wandering Dalish elves, if brought together, are a force to be reckoned with. While they remain suspicious of outsiders, they still honor the old Grey Warden treaties. Go to the Dalish elves and seek their help to fight the Blight. Broken Circle. Gather the mages of the Circle for your army. The Circle of Magi is a group of powerful mages. If you can enlist their help, they will prove formidable against the Darkspawn. The Circle Tower is situated in Lake Cownhead. It would be cool to work with mages. And then there's this... Travel to Soldier's Pass, where a troubled merchant awaits you with a deal that may just be too good to be true. Dwarves, mages, elves. This Earl Eamon. Wow, yep. It's a lot. We might as well get started. First off, Alistair, let's make sure that you've got the right weapons. I wonder. Yes.
A fine gift. You have my thanks. A fine gift.
Okay.
You have my thanks.
Might as well make some friendship. How friendly are we? Oh, Betty Buddy loves me no matter what. Gotta work on the humans. Come on, Alistair. You should like me more than Morrigan. Look at all the things I've done. We've done together.
Wake up, gentlemen. More travelers to attend to. Led by a dwarf, oddly enough.
They don't look much like them others. You know, maybe we should just let these ones pass.
Nonsense. Greetings, travelers.
Highwaymen, preying on those fleeing the Darkspawn, I suppose.
They are fools to get in our way. I say, teach them a lesson.
Now, is that any way to greet someone? A simple 10 silvers, and you're free to move on.
You know, you guys are sloppy. I'm from Dusttown, buddy. I know how this actually works. And you know what? You shouldn't be out here robbing me. You should be helping fighting the Darkspawn. I don't care. You could be scouts. You could be like the Ash Warriors, who were tough and awesome and fought well. A lot of them died, like Batty Buddy. His boss might have been an Ash Warrior. I know there's people lying dead around here who look like knights or soldiers and stuff. I assume you ganged up and killed them. I don't like you. I've just gone through a really bad experience. I got shot 3 times by an arrow. I had to deal with a giant friggin' ogre that would rip you people apart. Duncan, the man who saved my life and gave me a new lease on life, is dead. He's the closest thing I ever had to a father. All these wonderful people I met are dead. People who I was in command of are dead. Javeth, Dory, Tower Mage, Tower Guard, Circle Mage, whatever. They're dead. King is dead. You know what? You're toll collectors, then.
Indeed, for the upkeep of the Imperial Highway. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
You're fixing the highway? I think not.
Not much gets past you, I see.
It's not really a toll. We're just robbing you.
I know that,
see?
genius.
Do shut up. Even a Genlock would have understood that.
I'm not paying.
Well, I can't say I'm pleased to hear that. We have rules, you know.
Right. We get to ransack your corpse then.
Oh, you do?
Those are the rules.
You can certainly try.
Well, this is going nowhere. Let's finish this, gents.
Go.
Hit him. Oh, come on. Enough's enough. Alright. Yeah.
I can do it.
That's right.
Run while you can.
Some glory!
Take a
Shall be
juice.
done.
Quickly, we must fight.
You know what? Take that guy. Doggy, go down there. Morrigan, kill that guy. Alright. I want this guy to see all of his men die. I want Morrigan to get this kill.
So be it.
Alright, everybody. I've had it with this guy.
All right, we surrender. We're just trying to get by before the dog spawn get us all.
This shoddy operation is pathetic. I could do better.
Right. I guess so. I'm sorry.
I want some questions answered.
Well, what could I tell you? We aren't even from these parts.
Of course not. You wouldn't be abusing these people. You need some distance to do it. What exactly have you been doing?
Well, watching for folks fleeing from the south. Chasing from the wilds and farmholders, mostly. There aren't soldiers here anymore, so we help
Oh,
ourselves.
you help yourself.
We try not to hurt anyone too much.
Oh, like when you said you were going to kill me and my friends, and I see this dead knight sitting over the side and other stuff, and you steal from people and prey on them? Have you heard about any survivors from the battle?
A couple, maybe. A group of wounded ash warriors came by earlier. Got right out of their way.
Well, it's good to know that some of them, and that maybe hopefully their puppy survived. And, yeah, a coward like you, weasel like you, would get out of their way. But Batty Buddy, who you attacked, owner might have been an ash warrior, but it was like that. What's going on in Lothering?
It's packed full. The band took his men north with Tear and Logain, so there's no one looking out for it except a few Templars at the Chantry. Well, I was just trying to feed my family,
Oh,
you know?
piss off. You've been stealing from families for yourself. What news have you heard?
Everyone's saying how the Grey Wardens betrayed the king during the Darkspawn fight. Got him and themselves killed. Turn Loghain pulled out just in time. First thing he's doing as regent is putting a bounty on Grey Wardens.
I bet. I'm done asking questions.
Well then, let me go!
Hand over everything you've stolen.
Yes, of course. The coins we collected are right here. Just over 100 silvers. The rest is in the chests we brought. I swear.
I'm turning you into the authorities because I want to take your stuff and I'm going to put it toward my overall mission, which is to defeat the Blight, which will destroy everyone. So what your ill-gotten gains come to me, and I'm going to use it for that war effort. But you're going to authorities because you chumps should have been fighting at Ostagar, fighting or helping to protect these people and help them evacuate because the Darkspawn are right on my heels and they'll slaughter everyone. Turning you into the authorities.
There aren't any. Just the Templars, and they'll execute me.
That's not my problem. They'll do what they must. Come with me.
I'm not going down without a fight.
Typical. I want Morrigan to take you. You're not worth my time. Yeah, see, look, a dead Templar.
It is begun.
Or a knight. Knight's locket, knight's note. He had a family and someone he cared about. Oh, good. Health poultices. Frozen light. Sir Henrik was the guy who was killed. I feel better now. After all these good people died, it's nice to know some bad guy died. And I got to engineer it. Good. Let's keep gathering up stuff.
I shall do it.
Alright. Yeah, we got everything. Okay. See how this went. Okay. Good job, Morrigan. Good job, buddy. So
Well,
this is Lothering.
There it is. Lothering. Pretty as a painting.
Ah, so you have finally decided to rejoin us, have you? Falling on your blade in grief seemed like too much trouble, I take it.
Is my being upset so hard to understand? Have you never lost someone important to you? Just what would you do if your mother died?
Before or after I stopped laughing.
Right, very creepy. Forget I asked.
You have been very quiet, Alistair.
Yes, I know. I was just thinking.
No wonder it took so long, then.
Oh, I get it. This is the part where we're shocked to discover how you've never had a friend your entire life.
I can be friendly when I desire to, alas desiring to be more intelligent does not make it so.
Anyway, I thought we should talk about where we intend to go first.
We need to hear some news before we can decide. You have some thoughts on that point, Alistair?
This should be good.
I think what Flemeth suggested is the best idea. These treaties, have you looked at them?
Yes, I have. Not yet.
There are three main groups that we have treaties for. The Dalish Elves, the Dwarves of Orzammar, and the Circle of Major.
Yes.
I also still think that Arleman is our best bet for help. We might even want to go to him first.
No, I don't know about that. I think we should go to the mages first. I think we need to have magic users. That Circle Mage that we met was a run-of-the-mill guy, and he was still really good. Is there a way to contact the Grey Wardens?
Short of leaving for Eldon to seek them out, the only place to send word to would be Weishaupt Fortress. And that's thousands of miles away.
What do you think we should do, Morrigan?
Go after your enemy directly. Find this man Loghain and kill him. The rest of this business with the treaties can then be done in safety.
Yes, he certainly wouldn't see that coming, and it's not like he has the advantage of an army and experience and...
I was asked for my opinion and I gave it. If your wish is to come up with reasons why something cannot be done, we will stand here until the Darkspawn are upon us.
Why are you leaving it up to me?
Well, I don't know where we should go. I'll do whatever you decide.
Just
Now that is unsurprising.
Eamon is a good man, but I don't know for sure he's where we should go. I'm not going to fight about it.
Then we need to find these people.
I can give you directions if you like.
Where do we find the Circle of Magic? I am very impressed by magic and magical power. And I know this Earl Eamon is very important, but I think it would be better if when we went to see him, we didn't just go as beggars, but we went with at least one of the groups that we had a treaty with, along with us. And I think we should start with the Circle of Magi, with the power of mages. That's a significant, powerful thing, and it fascinates me, quite frankly.
That will be at their tower on Lake Carlinhard to the north. We'll be looking for the first enchanter, whoever that is.
I've been exiled. Where will we find the De La Shells?
If we head eastward, towards the Brazilian forest, we should hear word of one of the clans that wanders that area. Hopefully they will still be there.
Where do we find Al Eamon?
He'll be at Castle Redcliffe, in the far western part of Ferelden, next to the mountain passes. If he isn't there, someone will be able to tell us where he is.
Where would Logain be exactly?
If he isn't out in the field with his army, he's probably going to be at the palace in Denerim. We can go to Denerim, but somehow I suspect that they're not going to let us just walk around. Only a suspicion, of course.
Well, they might let us walk around, but they won't let us get at Logain. I know where Morrigan's coming from, but that's a foolish idea. We're not going to go right into the den of the lion and be destroyed. We're going to build ourselves up. We're going to scout. We're going to skirmish. We're going to take things cautious. There's only a couple of us, Morrigan and Dog. We need to build up. We need to build allies, friends. We need to get stronger, safer, healthier. We need so much. So we're going to be cautious. And one of the ways that I can see us helping ourselves is to get the Circle of Magi on our side. Have them be allies. I've been exiled from Orzammar. I can't go back there.
You're going to have to. I certainly wouldn't want to go there alone.
Why? Would it frighten you? Are you afraid of dark and sunken places?
I mean, we won't have any choice.
True.
You'll be there under Grey Warden business, and the dwarves will just have to see reason.
We'll see.
Certainly are renowned for an abundance of reason. 'Tis true.
Yeah. They often aren't reasonable, but they do respect the wardens. We'll see. How do we get to Orzammar from here exactly?
You don't know where Orzammar is?
She doesn't know how to find it on the surface, fool. She has never been here before.
If you follow the west road around Carlinhard Lake into the mountains through Gerland's Pass, from there I expect you'd know the way.
All right. I mean, we left with Alistair, but the world, it was such a dramatic change. That was like a blur. It was amazing. It was fantastic, but it was also a blur. So, I don't need any more directions.
Then you have a plan.
I'm ready to get going.
Fair enough. Let's head into the village whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm sick of my people dying. These people, the situation already doesn't look good. They got all these people milling about. Camps, tents, setting out here. Yeah, junk here. I'm worried about what's sanitation order like. And they've got to go. They've got to go. They can't stay here.
I have
As
a
if we
wonder,
needed more
Alistair,
fighting
if
here.
you will indulge.
Don't you see how scared
Do I have
everyone
a
is?
choice?
Of the two of you that remain, are you not the senior Grey Warden here? I find it curious that you allow another to lead while you follow.
You find that curious, do you?
In fact, you defer to a new recruit. Is this the policy of the Grey Wardens, or simply a personal one?
What do you want to hear? That I prefer to follow? I do.
You sound so very defensive.
Couldn't you crawl into a bush somewhere and die? That would be great, thanks.
Okay.
What do you need?
Never mind. You know what? If we're going to go ahead, I need to talk to you and get things figured out. I need to know some more stuff. I need to know everything I can before we go ahead.
What do you need?
We're in desperate straits. I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together.
Yes. That's horrible. I can't believe they would do that.
Well, they do it, and they feel perfectly justified. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective, or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Well, the Chantry in some ways is nice, but in other ways it definitely isn't. But still better than what the ancestors and the Paragons had in store for me.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
Very well, I'll respect your word.
Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all.
I know, but they are awesome.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfelds, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
We're not going to Denerim right away. We need to build ourselves up first. So what happens now that there's just 2 of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
Will we need to start rebuilding the Order?
I mean,
Yes.
eventually we would have to use the joining to make...
Great, we get to kill more people.
But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
I don't have a problem with there only being 2 of us if we can win and avoid doing the joining, because the joining is a horrible and horrific experience. I have no more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
No.
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
No. Ha ha, very funny, Alistair.
I do my best. What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
For a great-looking guy, your humor is... It's endearing but stupid. Not stupid, just dumb. It's not that funny, but it is endearing. It's cute. It's funny because you're dumb. But I don't mean dumb in a bad way. Never mind. Let's just say that I know several dozen dwarven women who, after hearing something like that, would love to sculpt your chiseled peaks even more and climb your great snowy white Alps. Climb those Alps. You don't seem like the religious
You're
sort.
telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did? I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
You think Duncan took pity on you? Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I agree. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
I'm sorry.
No, it's... I'm sorry.
Don't be.
I shouldn't be. It's fine. He died a hero. They all did. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
I'm sorry, Alistair. I really am. I apologize, buddy.
What do you need?
Ask you something.
Ask away.
So you said this Earl Eamon raised you.
Did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Your superb physical Alps are not going to compensate for that. That would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
I thought the Chantry would have beat that out of you.
Oh, there you go, listening to me again. You'd think you'd have gotten past that already. I ended up in the Chantry, sure, but I didn't start there. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Earl Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow. He put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Okay. It doesn't matter who you came from, it matters who helped bring you up. So Earl Eamon was your real father, not whoever originally bred you. And this is important. You blamed him then, I take it?
I was young and resentful and not very pious. Of course I blamed him. I remember screaming at him like a little child. Well, I was a child, so I doubt he was surprised. Earl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Earl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
That's an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Isle came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
That's sad. That's sad. You were young. Maybe we can get you guys to talk and get together, because it sounds like he's a heck of a lot better than my worthless father who I never knew, and my mother, who was worthless. But you were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
If I'm going to be fighting with these people, I need to know what I'm dealing with here. Because there's only a couple of us right now, for all intents and purposes.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
How did you become a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
It sounds like you like the legend even if you don't actually do it. That does sound like something you'd do.
Oh? I truly doubt that children would be worth the effort. They are filthy, smelly things full of tears and snot and trouble. That said, I cannot speak for the tastes of my mother. She has, after all, lived a very lengthy time in the wilds and done many things I know nothing of. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change into other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Can anyone become a shape changer?
Anyone with sufficient will, but the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
Okay. Do you spend a lot of time as an animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
Okay. And what do other animals think of you when you've changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
I've never heard of a magic like that before.
No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could. But as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
That's good. Such traditions need to be preserved.
I am surprised you think so. Still, 'tis a pleasant thing to hear.
Knowledge is always good. Should always preserve knowledge. That's what I would have done if I were a Shaperate, regardless of how inconvenient it could be for the Shaperate, who often ended up suppressing knowledge, in my opinion. Knowledge of us, the castless, and other things too. Because they can suppress knowledge about the castles, they'll suppress it about other things as well. That's all I wanted to ask.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
Of course not. I think your abilities sound quite useful.
A most practical opinion. Far more so than any man I have spoken to. But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
We need all the useful skills we can get our hands on. That's for sure. So I ain't going to complain.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Did you grow up in the Kakari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
Actually, you could, though, if you wanted to.
Oh, what luck. What is it you asked? If I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained unnoticed?
For the most part. Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring. That sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played and batted my eyelashes as the captain of the guard.
That's true.
Child's play.
That is
the point
true.
Being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Were you upset by all the bad touching?
At least with that sort of touching, I would have been able to intuit the intent with far greater ease. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Well, I'm glad it worked out this way, at least, because I need all the help I can get, and I kind of like you, Morrigan. Some things I don't, or some things I'm more leery of, but on the whole, I like you.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you.
You're
well,
welcome.
let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Okay. That's good.
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes. By Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally
That's
were.
why you don't like it.
Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
You really had no trouble with them?
I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Surely more would have followed.
Sometimes. Eventually. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
What exactly is an apostate?
You do not know. The Zealots use that word for any magic they do not control. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
If I were a mage, I might think the same.
Thank you for small favors, then, at the very least. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand. I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A powerful maleficar.
You mean, is she truly the Flemeth of legend and story? Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Fair enough. That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Yes, I've heard this part.
The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife? She's a dust towner. She thinks like a dust towner. She has a mercenary attitude toward these sorts of things. Her mother does, and she does. This is like the people who've normalized. She's like the people who have normalized noble hunting where I am from, even though it's incredibly destructive. Let's stay on her good side for now. Seems like a fair deal. I don't like this, but...
Aye, it was. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement in the first place. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then? That's nice. It's too bad that happened to Osen.
That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong.
Whoa.
The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Yeah, I figured it'd be something like that. Which? She never invaded, or he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Okay. Do you believe her
I
version?
do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
Okay. How is it that Flemeth has survived for so
The
long?
demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Okay, fair enough. The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself.
Yes.
The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts.
Whoa.
It may be true.
Wow.
I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
I don't want that to happen, and it kind of actually bothers me how matter-of-factly you said that. We'll keep that from happening if she tries it, even though she saved my life and Alistair's life. Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
My mother is a useless drunk.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. If
No,
not,
it
it's
doesn't
not.
matter.
Let
More
us
than
move
you
on.
think. More than you think. Thank you, Morrigan. I appreciate that. It matters to me more than you think.
I await your command.
So life in the wild... So life in the wilds must have been very lonely. I mean, being all by yourself, not being with anybody, no real friends or anything, other than the animals.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
Huh. That does sound kind of cool. You could have friends even if no one around you likes you. And that's one of the things that's different with Orzammar, because in Orzammar, there weren't any animals. Except what, nugs that we would have to kill for food and eat? You weren't really in a situation where you could have animals as friends, like Batty Buddy or trees or birds or wolves. So that does sound kind of wonderful. You could always have friends.
For a time. But one can only remain a child for so long.
True.
I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious
I bet.
with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Flemeth was right, no doubt.
Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
They made you stronger, didn't they? I think that beauty has power. Dumat was a god of beauty. He led the first blight that almost destroyed humanity, and he was a god of beauty. So beauty, I think, does have power. But these lessons did make you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Fair enough. No, you're a dust towner. You're a duster through and through with magic, a Carter girl. I get how you think.
I await your command.
And there are good and bad things about it. It's a very elemental approach, I guess to say. It might, not quite animal, but a more mercenary approach, and a decidedly unsentimental approach. I'd like to discuss something.
We are hardly alone, so privacy is not an option. It is your question, however. Ask what you will.
She thinks like a predator, like a feline predator. That is the best way to put it.
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
I'll deal with that later. Okay? I don't think these people want to talk to me. I'll try a couple more, but I get the feeling they don't. Okay. Wait a second. Alright.
Please, we came here to get away from the fighting.
Please, we came here to get away from the home.
Okay, here's what they gotta do. They gotta get these people together and get them out of this town. Seriously, they can't sustain these people, and the Darkspawn are coming sooner rather than later. If they don't leave, you're gonna have these people sit here camping out like this. They're gonna start getting sick, and disease is gonna go and run rampant through these people, and a bunch of them are gonna die. You've got to get them out of here to better conditions.
Please, we came here to get away
I brought my
from
family
the
to
fighting.
Lothering because I thought
As
it
if
would be
we
safe.
needed more fighting here. Don't you see how scared everyone
When
is?
are we going home? Please, we came here.
I wanna go
Yeah,
home.
these people got to get out of here, because otherwise they're going to get sick at the least. They won't even be able to run because they'll have like dysentery, cholera when the Darkspawn come.
I want to go home.
You there. If you're looking for safe shelter, I'll warn you, there's none to be found.
Something. Oh. Let's start with you.
We don't see many dwarves in these parts. You here to trade?
I'm not a merchant. I'm a Grey Warden.
Then you'd best clear out. We're loyal to the king here, and word from the north is the wardens betrayed King Cailan. Tairn Loghain has a bounty on any who survived.
Tairn Loghain betrayed the king, not us.
Tairn Loghain? Betray Merrick's boy? Bah, your story needs a bit of work.
I have some questions.
Can't promise I'm going to answer them.
Can't kill everyone who disagrees with what you say. What's going on here?
What isn't? We got chastened barbarians in every farmholder south of Callanhard running from the Darkspawn. Not that they'll be safe here with the army gone.
No, they won't be. That's true. Who's in charge of this village?
You could talk to the Elder, though she's got her hands full getting everyone on their way.
Yeah.
For now, most folks go to Sir Bryant. He's head of the Chantry's Templars.
Okay. You don't have a ruling lord?
He's gone to war and taken all his soldiers, leaving us to fend for ourselves. There's not going to be much left when he returns. If he returns.
Good point. Were those bandits always outside the village?
Were? You mean they're gone?
Yes, I drove them off.
Well, goody for you. Now there's no one to drive off the blighted refugees.
Thanks,
Sir Bryant
buddy.
will be glad, though. He's been talking about offering a reward for anyone who'd run them out.
I should go. Thanks for
Don't let
nothing,
me
pal.
stop you.
Yeah, talking to you was not really much of a point. Nothing I could do could please a sour puss like you.
As if we needed more fighting here. Don't you see how scared everyone is?
Move on if you can. Lothering's lost.
Then you need to get these people up and packed and out of here as soon as possible. I know it takes time, but you gotta move faster. Do you know about the bandits just outside the village?
Thieves prey on the unfortunate whenever they get the chance. We've had refugees streaming from the south for the last 2 days. The Chantry and Tavern are full to bursting. There simply isn't enough food to go around, and we Templars can barely keep order. You'd be better off elsewhere, my friend.
Can I ask a few questions?
I'm just out here to keep an eye out for Darkspawn. Please ask someone in town. No offense.
Is anyone in charge here?
The band has marched north with Tairn Loghain, so Lothering's on its own. Most folks look to Elder Miriam. Otherwise, you could speak to Sir Bryant in the Chantry, I suppose. It's up to you.
Alright. See what these guys say.
I brought my family to Lothering.
It's just a guess, but I'm thinking everyone in Lothering is aware of the approaching Darkspawn horde.
Yeah, and they should get together and move their asses out of this
I brought
town.
my family to Lothering because I thought it would be
The
safe.
Qunari locked in that cage. It won't be able to defend itself from the Darkspawn.
Mother says we have to run before the bad men get here.
I want to go home.
Because seriously, we need to
What will happen to us now that the king is dead?
get these people out of this town because that is not good. They need to leave. And sooner rather than later.
Greetings to you, milady. If it isn't too much to ask, might you be able to spare some bread?
What happened to you?
We thought it would be safer in Lothering, that the Tairn would bring his soldiers here. But bandits attacked us and took everything. Our food, our clothes, my daughter's pet lamb. Nobody cares about a few elves. Can you help us?
I met those bandits. They're dead now.
You killed them?
That's wonderful news. Perhaps our belongings are still there.
I can't thank you enough, friend. Even if we don't get everything back, it's
you're a
good to know
guy.
others will be safe.
But she's practical. No, and it's good to know I helped those people out because, you know, she's practical. She's like, maybe we can get the stuff back, and he's more of a good guy in the ideal. It's like, well, maybe the other people won't be in trouble. Maybe the other people will be okay. You know, that's positive. They make a good pair. They complement each other. One with a strong moral compass and the other being very practical.
Have you seen my mother?
You poor thing. Did you and your mother get separated?
Some mean men with swords came, and Mother told told me to run to the village as fast as I could, so I did. She said she'd be right behind me, but I've been waiting and waiting, and I can't see her.
Do you know where your father is?
He went with William to the neighbours yesterday, but he didn't come back.
Oh. Come with me, I'll help you look for your mother.
Mother said I wasn't to go with anyone. I'm supposed to wait for her here, in the village.
I tell you to go to the Chantry, but they're full up and they got tons of people, so honestly I don't know if they can take care of you. So take the silver.
Oh, silver! Wow, thank you. So, you're a dwarf, aren't you?
Yep. Did my height give me away?
Father says dwarves are really greedy, but you're not greedy at all.
Thanks, kid.
Thank you for helping me.
Yeah, you people are bad, but you're a nice one. You're a good one. Well, hopefully the kid goes to the church and they take care of him. So here's the thing. When it comes to dealing with this town and the people...
I await your command.
Never mind. I get the feeling... Let's just talk to these two.
As if we needed more fighting here.
Sorry for
Don't you see how scared everyone is?
It won't be able to defend itself from the darkspawn.
I wonder about this Kunari.
Stop looking at me, mongrel. I have nothing you want.
Oh, stop picking with...
Why do you keep staring at me so, you flea-ridden beast? Can you not tell when you are not wanted? I enjoy company of creatures of the wild, not stench-ridden domesticated
Oh, you big meanie. Don't talk to my dog like that. Batty Buddy's getting the best of you, Morrigan. Alistair might not be able to, but Batty Buddy can, because Batty Buddy's that awesome.
Please, we came here to get away
Few
from
knights
her.
have come through here, searching for some holy artifact. Not one of them stopped to help.
It's too bad.
I heard those bandits are back again. Why don't the Templars kill them?
I did it for them.
Brought my family to Lothering because I thought it would be safe.
You might not want to go in. Tavern's full, and those soldiers are being a nuisance.
Why is the tavern full?
Same reason the Chantry's full, packed with people who fled their homes.
Yeah, and they gotta get people out of here
The
before the
tavern keeper's letting
darkspawn come.
folks sleep on the floors, but he can only fit so many. And those soldiers are getting restless.
Tell me about these soldiers.
They're not here to defend us. They were looking for someone before they started drinking. I hear they almost killed a man because they didn't like his face. I wonder if they're deserters from the King's army.
You seem unhappy.
Is there any reason to be happy? With the King dead, them Darkspawn will overrun Lothering before anyone can organise.
I know, you gotta
You'd
get
think
these
those
people out of
soldiers
here.
could at least run off the bandits. I hear someone gave them what they deserved. Wasn't you, was it?
Yes, that was me.
It was? Hey, everyone! This is the one who drove out those thieving bastards! More will probably come, but it's good to know some justice is left here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Master Federon runs us miners hard. Harder still since Ostergar.
Where can we go? This is no better than what we left.
Terran Logain is a new region. Isn't that a good thing?
Please, we came here to get away
All
from the
right.
fighting.
A few knights have come through here, searching
brought
for
my
some
family
holy
to Lothering
artifact because I thought it would be safe. One of them stopped to
What
help.
will happen to us now?
We'll be
that the
lucky if they
king's
don't burn
dead?
down the entire country fighting over the throne.
Yeah. I know.
Did
Hopefully
you
they
speak to
don't.
that knight yesterday? Said he was from Redcliffe.
He talked to everyone in the tavern. How are we supposed to know where the urn of sacred ashes is? Might as well ask us how to get to the moon.
He said that all the Redcliffe knights were looking for it. As if they didn't have anything better.
Yeah, that does seem weird.
It is begun.
Okay, more fire arrows. That's good. Okay.
I've got a cousin in the Templars. He says the mages in the tower out on Lake Callanhard are all turning into demons.
They always say that, though.
Yeah.
Well, this time it's true. They're not sure what to do about it yet, he says.
What's to do? I thought you killed them.
Easier said than done. The mages pick a fine time to go turning into demons, I tell you.
Okay.
Well, look what we have here, then. I think we've just been blessed.
Great.
Uh-oh. Logain's men. This can't be good.
Didn't we spend all morning asking about a dwarf by this very description? And everyone said they hadn't seen one.
It seems we were lied to.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for trouble. These are no doubt simply more poor souls seeking refuge.
Oh.
They're more than that.
Thank you.
Now stay out of our way, sister. You protect these traitors, you'll
Hey.
get the same as them.
What makes you think we're
Sten
traitors?
Logain claims the Grey Wardens betrayed the king. Or haven't you
I
heard?
knew he claimed that.
Enough talk. Take the warden into custody. Kill this sister and anyone else that gets in your way.
Oh,
Right.
really?
Let's make this quick.
I don't think so. Everybody, get him.
Very well.
Okay, Leliana's gonna be okay. Leliana's okay.
All right, you've won. We surrender.
Good. They've learned their lesson and we can all stop fighting now.
Thanks for helping, young lady. The Grey Wardens didn't betray King Kaelin. Logain dead.
I was there. The turn pulled us out of a trap.
So was I. The Tan left the king to die.
The wardens led the king to his death. The turn could do nothing.
Take a message to Logain.
What do you want to tell him?
He'll pay for what he's done. We're coming for... He'll have to do better than this.
I'll tell him. Right away. Now. Thank you.
I apologize for interfering, but I couldn't just sit by and not help.
No problem. I appreciate what you tried to do.
I am glad you found it in your heart to offer those men mercy. Let me introduce myself. I am Leliana, one of the lay sisters of the Chantry here in Lothering. Oh, I was.
Hello, Leliana. I am Natia. A pleasure.
Those men said you're a Grey Warden. You will be battling the Darkspawn, yes? That is what Grey Wardens do.
Yes.
I know after what happened, you will need all the help you can get. That's why I'm coming along.
I will need help. That's true.
That, and the Maker wants me to go with you.
Can you elaborate?
I know that sounds absolutely insane, but it's true. I had a dream. A vision.
More crazy? I thought we were all full up.
Look at the people here. They are lost in their despair, and this darkness, this chaos, will spread. The Maker doesn't want this. What you do, what you are meant to do, is the Maker's work. Let me help.
Very well. I will not turn away help when it is offered. Because I need all the people I can get. I've got like what? 4 people? Yes.
Perhaps your skull was cracked worse than Mother thought.
Thank you. I appreciate being given this chance. I will not let you down.
Okay.
Indeed.
Okay. Alright. let's go here and redistribute our equipment. Okay, we're going to wait on redistributing our equipment, and we're not going to walk around.
As I live and breathe, you're the Grey Warden everyone's been talking about.
Is there something I can do for you?
I represent the Blackstone Irregulars. We're a mercenary company that fell on hard times after the war with Orlais.
Okay.
I'm sure you know that times are getting worse every day.
Yep.
With your help, the Irregulars could be of use to Ferelden once more.
Okay. How can I be of service?
Our leaders thought you might be willing to help. Each of our posts in Ferelden will contain letters addressed to you. Unlike most who work with us, you're getting letters straight from Raelnor and Tauram, our leaders. I hope this tells you how highly the Irregulars regard the Grey Wardens.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Thank you. When you've completed a mission, just return to me or any of our members stationed at an Irregulars post. We'll make sure your efforts are rewarded. Maker's blessings light your path.
Okay. My friend, there are a number of people who pledge to aid the Blackstone Irregulars in times of need. Those times are now. Here you will find 3 letters of conscription. Deliver them to the people listed below and return to the Irregulars for your payment. Should any of these people refuse, do what you must to get them to honor their oaths. Conscripts, Dernal Garrison, Redcliffe, Patter Gritch, Lothering, Vale Baron, Denram, your friend, Tauron. My friend, the Irregulars require a trusted agent to track down and deal with deserters. Do this and you will be rewarded. These deserters took with them valuable supplies crucial to the Irregulars' future as a supplier of martial services. Deal with these wastes of space as you see fit, and bring the supplies back as proof that the problem has been dealt with. We will ask no questions as to your methods of the final condition of the deserters. Use your own discretion. You will likely find them in the following locations: Samael, Lake Calenhead, Layson, Denram, Tornus, Frostback Mountains. Your friend, Tauran.
You're gonna make more trouble? We've about all we can stand in Lothering now.
I'm sorry about the mess. I wasn't here to
They had
get
it coming, and they were travelling up themselves. So long as you don't start more, I won't get excited.
Okay.
Right then, name's Denal. Sorry I can't chat much. As you see, we've a full house.
I don't suppose you have any rooms.
Look around. People are sleeping on the floors and in the attic. That's how many rooms I don't have.
Who were those men I fought exactly?
When Sten Logain marched by, he left those fellas behind to look for Grey Wardens.
He doesn't
I
really
suppose that's you.
He doesn't seem to respect scouting and skirmishing by having larger groups to cover it as so far. Yes, it is.
I have no qualm with you, whatever the Sten says. My grandfather served. Your secret's safe with me. What can I get you then?
Have you heard any rumors?
There's knights from Redcliffe wandering the countryside, looking for the place where on dress day sacred ashes are said to lie. Can you believe that? The urn holding her ashes is a myth. And yet these knights say they were sent to find it anyhow to heal our Leliana. I didn't even know he was ill. Maybe he has a blight. If so, then times are even darker for Ferelden than any of us thought. Anything else I can get you?
Let's see. Any other rumors?
Some folks aren't happy about Sten Logain being named regent. There are rumors he had something to do with the king's death.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard?
No.
The Darkspawn killed him, sure enough.
Nope.
But Sten
Well,
Logain
yeah, but...
couldn't save the king from that end, then nobody could. Anything else I can get you?
No. One last rumor and see.
I hear that Sten Logain, the regent, is calling for new levies of troops. He wants to rebuild the army we lost at Arthur.
Thanks to his actions.
Thing is, there's not a lot of spare men to be found. Out at Dragon's Peak, there's press gangs roaming around, grabbing any free man they can lay their hands on. Anything else I can get you?
I'll be going.
Luck speed your way.
Okay. Let's see.
I brought my family to Lothering because I thought it would be safe.
Can we speak when they're done?
Okay.
I am trying to listen to the bard's song. Can we speak once they finish? Please, I must continue playing, else I earn
Sorry,
no coin
I don't know any dwarven songs. I just play what the innkeep asks.
Creature isn't dead yet.
So they don't like this Canary creature
As
for
if
some
we
reason.
needed more fighting here. Don't you see how scared everyone is?
I can't just pack up my whole farmhold and flee. The army will save us, won't they?
North looking
No,
for a
they
field
won't.
hand.
You're here about food. Take it up with that bleeding runt by the chantry. I got other gear to sell.
You're out of food?
A whole mess of refugees come in and leave me every night. All have hungry bellies, sad tales, and mementos for barter. I sold that bleeding merchant outside about half my larder 2 weeks back, and now he's charging outrageous sums for all my food.
I'll see what I can do about the merchant.
You will? Odd thing to be doing. But we'd appreciate it.
Show me what you got. Okay. Yeah. 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 Well, I got a lot of money compared to what my life normally is. Yeah. I don't know what that's for. Pretty, but I don't know what it's for. There we go. Ooh. Maybe. Oh yeah, these things are so damn cheap. And I've got a mage, so yeah. Okay, so for right now, let's see. Thorn of the Dead Gods. In the moment that it struck, the blade of the Grey Warden who killed Toth, Archdemon of Fire, shattered into 3 pieces. After the Battle of Hunter fell, the Wardens carried their fallen brother to Weishaupt for a hero's burial, but the broken pieces of his sword were left behind. For years the shards lay forgotten on the battlefield, still became etched with the corrupted blood of the dead god. They were eventually discovered by a Navarran woman, searching among the bones for a sign of her lost son. She sold them to a blacksmith, not knowing what they truly were, for 10 bits. The smith, however, knew that he had purchased more than scrap metal, and fashioned the shards into 3 identical daggers, the thorns of the dead gods. They left his hands and were scattered to the far corners of Thedas. But everywhere they went, the thorns left misery and loss in their wake. The woman who unearthed them died soon after of the plague. The smith fell into his forge. Each person who has held one of the thorns, even briefly, has died an untimely death. Oh, great! I spent money to dig a ditch, to dig my own grave. Well, whatever. In for a penny, in for a pound. I'm a Grey Warden anyway. I was Cassus before that. It simply is. We didn't expect to go anywhere, really, in the long run. Lothering. In ancient times, Lothering was little more than a trading post that served the fortress of Ostigard to the south. Nowadays, it is larger, serving Redcliffe and the community of merchants and surface dwarves near Orzammar. Its location on the North Road gives it strategic value, so control of Lothering has historically been a matter of contention between the southern Bannorn and the Southreach Arling. King Calenhead himself stepped in and awarded the town to Southreach in the Exalted Age, which has largely ended the feud, or at least the appearance of it. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar, by Brother Genetivi. Characters. Nobility does not exist without obligation. We owe all we have, even our lives, to our land and our people. As the maternal uncle of King Calen, Earl Eamon is one of the king's most trusted advisors. Redcliffe, while not a large or especially wealthy part of Ferelden, is a critical strategic location. The fortress guards the western pass that leads to Orlais, as well as the major trade route with Orzammar. A well-respected man, though not the most charismatic, King Calen once said of him, "My Uncle Eamon is a man everyone thinks well of, when they remember to think of him at all." Oh yeah, we remember that. Leliana. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace, and in that stillness I could hear the Maker. A lay sister of the Chantry who beat the stuffing out of trained mercenaries would be notable enough, but one who also claims to have been sent to fight the Darkspawn by the Maker himself is unusual, to say the least. She joined Alistair and Natia in Lothering, insisting that she would prove useful. And she has. For Morrigan, Witch of the Wild, such idle fancies, those legends, have you no minds of your own? Of herself, Morrigan says little. She does not deny being Witch of the Wilds, but beyond that, everything about her is in question. Morrigan's critical eye is not reserved solely for others. Knowing or not, she has a simple fondness for jewelry, and is very particular about her appearance. So much for beauty not mattering, and not being willing to admit it, that it does to you. A note from Sir Henrik. So many of my fellow knights have been searching for the urn. Surely one of them, and this is from the night that we found dead by those bandits that we killed. So many of my fellow knights have been searching for the urn. Surely one of them must have found Brother Genetivi by now. Still, until I hear that all is well, I must proceed as planned. Brother Genetivi holds the key to finding the urn of sacred ashes. We always knew this, but I believe I now know where Brother Genetivi lies. I have been to his home in Denerim and found the trail, and I am amazed that other knights have not done likewise. Unless they have. No, it is best not to get caught up in thoughts of a conspiracy. I am not so sure. Sir Donald awaits my report in Lothering. I must go to him immediately and report what I have learned. Should anyone find these ramblings, all I ask is that he be informed of my fate. I pray that he complete what I cannot. A note from Sir Henrik of Redcliffe. A letter from the Blackstone Irregulars. A letter, written in careful script, addressed to you. To the inimitable Grey Warden. Your deeds have spread since the tragedy of Ostagar, and I find myself in need of one such as you. I am Raelnor, captain of the venerable Blackstone Irregulars, and I hope to win your trust. The Irregulars have come on hard times since the war with Orlais, but I have fought to improve their reputation. Gone are the days of my father's shady deals with unscrupulous nobles in Denerim. No, I have trained a guild filled with honorable men ready to fight for Ferelden, and I am proud to say that I have seen your own Grey Wardens as a sort of model. Why, thank you, that's very kind to say. We are not perfect. My own son advocates a move back to the more lucrative way my father ran the guild, but we are steadfast. It is in this context that I ask for your help, and I promise we will reward you accordingly. Should you be willing, please find letters in this box and others like it all over the land, and carry out the request therein. For this matter, consider requests from my son as if they came from myself. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart, whether you choose to assist us or not. You are doing the Maker's work, Warden, and I am honored to work with you. Raelnor. This letter is marked with the seal of the Black Snow Regulars. Well, that's nice. It's nice to know that there are people who I can win over and be friends with. Hopefully.
Please, we came here to get away from the fighting.
You're here about food. Take it up with that bleeding runt by the chantry. I got other gear to sell.
Know of any well-paying work in Lothering?
Check the chanter's board by the chantry. There's good jobs there. I don't suppose you know anything about poison.
I have dabbled in such things.
I figured if I kept asking, I'd find someone. I'd pay good coin for some simple poison. Something to slow them beasties down or make them think twice.
Any idea where I could get ingredients?
There's herbs in the North Wood. As for other stuff, look around town. Some refugees just left things behind to travel faster. I don't really know what you need, though. I might have some in stock, too.
Show me what you got. For now. Oh yeah, I saw that. Fallen Templar. Found the body of Templar slain by bandits. His corpse had been picked clean of everything save a note in the locket. And I killed those worthless bandits. Perhaps the locket would mean something to someone in Lothering. I think I need to talk to Sir Donald in the Chantry. Poisonous proposition. Create poison for Barlin. The former Barlin once placed poisonous traps about his farm to protect it from beasties and other trespassers. He's asked you to create a suitable poison for him. 3 flasks of venom should do the trick. Okay. Huh, wait a second.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock?
I have what you asked for.
Splendid! If those beasties come on my land, I hope it teaches them a lesson. Yeah, enough gold to cover any of your expenses and then some, hey?
Well, that's good. Okay, that's a start. Okay, so... Wow. Mm-hmm. Batter shield. Throne of the Dead Gods. For the time being. Take the next. Okay.
Because I still don't have food to sell.
Show what you got.
What is it?
Okay. Oh, you know what this means. And okay, bombs. Strength. Okay, I know exactly what I need to do. That's the first stone. No, that's something that's like a stone. Well, okay. Sometimes you make trade-offs. Okay, that's good. Give them armor. Alistair's farm. Morrigan camping house. Okay.
Well, I still don't have food to sell.
Alright, so let's see.
I'm scared. When are we
If
going
you want
home?
something, speak to Dinar.
Okay, ice arrows. And the same
He'll
armor.
deal with customers.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I still don't have food to sell.
Show what you got. Okay. 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 Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we'll keep that. Tempo shield. Yeah. Sell that. Keep that. Okay. So here's the thing.
I'd wager all these elves are working with the Darkspawn. They'd gladly sell us down the river.
Don't be stupid.
Probably right.
Darkspawn and elves
So how is it the Terran
don't work
Logan
together.
survived?
That's ridiculous.
When even the great wardens didn't make it out of that place.
Checks out.
I heard he saw just in time what those Grey Wardens were doing and
Dexterity.
saved his men. He's a hero, that's what he is.
Too bad he couldn't save poor King Caleb. Blast those Grey Wardens. They deserve what they got and more.
I'll say. First they drag the king down there, and then they throw him to the wolves. It's no wonder it all went bad.
You don't say. Okay.
Hello, stranger. I don't suppose you know anyone that can make traps.
I'm actually... What do you need traps for?
Old man Barlin said that Darkspawn may be coming soon. He's got traps on his farm. I figured
I put a few on my lands. Barlin wants to poison his traps. I just want normal traps.
I'm quite familiar with traps and the like. Barlin has poison traps in his land?
He doesn't have any poison yet, thank the Maker. So his fields are just full of traps. He can be a bit eccentric.
Why don't you just buy some?
None to be had. Barlin has all the traps in the village in his fields.
I'm quite familiar with traps and the like.
I would happily pay you to make some. There's wood and nails and other goods around the village and the forest. But you probably already know that. Sorry. Come back if you make some.
Okay.
Did you make any traps?
Do I scare you something?
All strangers do. I'm sorry. I didn't
Don't
mean
be
to
sorry.
offend
It's
you.
okay.
You seem nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still working
Whenever
on the
you
traps.
get around to it, I appreciate it.
You know what, Alistair? Let's see here. Let's give this nice lady some traps. I have the traps for you.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you, stranger.
You're welcome. Thanks. Okay. Okay, that's a much better axe. Oh. Nice. Oh boy. That's nice. That's real nice. So's that. Okay. So yeah, that really helps. Give him that bow. Okay, now things are starting to look up. We got ice and fire arrows too. Okay. I'll take the Ash Warrior's axe. Okay. Okay. Now we got some more stuff to sell. Alright. Okay.
What now?
You know what? There's somebody missing from this party. There we go. Hey, buddy. Let's get you set up too. And actually, let's see. We don't have equipment for you yet, but we'll get some. Let's see.
What?
Okay. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to talk to her a little bit.
Yes?
What do you know of this place?
Lothering? I think it started as a settlement by the river, and then grew when it became the place where two roads met. There are always people in Lothering, but many are just passing through.
Okay. Let's talk about something else.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything.
And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
You know, I hate these dreams. It was so much nicer when we as dwarves didn't dream. But now that I'm a Grey Warden, I have these horrible dreams. You humans can keep these dreams. I'd much rather have like daily fantasies and at night just sleep and not remember anything. Just have it go black. You dreamed of the Blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rosebush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
You really know how to cheer me up. After all the bad things that happened lately, this kind of cheers me up. And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
I like you, Leliana. You know how to cheer me up, make me feel good. You have a wonderful example. You're very charismatic. I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a Blight to stop.
Talking to her is so nice. She makes me feel relaxed, calm. She helps reinstall hope after all the losses, after Jory, Davos. I think that Wynne person might have died, the Chantry sister. Duncan. So important to my life. Saved it, did all these wonderful things. After all the setbacks, getting shot, that horrible ogre fight.
Yes?
Talking to her is so nice. It makes me feel so much better. I'd like to talk to you someone.
Well, here I am.
Right, more importantly, honestly, I'd like you to talk to me. What was life like in the Chantry Cloister?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Condescending? How so? Wait. I could figure that out. We don't have religious people, but we do have the Shapers who focus on the ancestor, venerate the ancestors and the paragons, and they're kind of similar to Chantry scholars, so not the good ones like Brother Genitivi or even Patrine's work, but the bad ones. That's why I'm not particularly fond of them.
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
I prefer your ideas to the ideas of the Chantry.
Thank you. Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Okay. That was nice.
Yes?
It's really good talking. You really know how to make me feel better. You're a very vivacious, cheerful, energetic, bright, witty girl. Woman, I should say. And it's always nice to talk to you.
Here I am.
But for now, I think we should just wait.
You got a bed for the night. You taken care of.
Thank you for the kind consideration, ma'am. But I think you need to take care of yourself, and we've got to find a way to get all these people, including you, out of here. And You need someone to take care of you. Actually, I was more hoping I could help you.
Don't need blades right now. We need beds, food, and an end to all these sad sots. I don't suppose you know anything of tonics, medicines, or herbs.
I don't, but my friend does.
Then you may be able to do us a lot of good. All manner of travellers come through, many injured or sick. We do our best, but we're out of supplies. There's medicinal herbs in the woods to the north. If you make a few poultices, I'll scrape together some sort of payment. I'll write all you need to know in this note here.
I want to help these people, and I also want to get them out of this town before the Darkspawn come here. It is not good to have these large numbers of people just sitting here. They're all using the same drinking water, all going to the bathroom and crapping and stuff. That's how diseases and stuff start. They've done studies on this. It's just not good to have all of these people go hungry, people get sick, it spreads. And there's the Darkspawn coming. This place is completely indefensible. There's no one to protect them. This is a nightmare. They've got to get these people out of here as soon as possible. So I'll do what I can to help people like Elder Miriam. In fact...
Have any luck finding herbs in the woods?
I didn't need them. Here you go.
This will help many people. You're a good sort, you know.
Thank you. Wow, that's more money than I've ever had before. A lot more. At any one time.
So I take it you did not enjoy your Templar training?
That's directed at me, I take it.
Do you see any others about who have failed at their religious instruction?
I didn't fail. I was recruited into the Grey Wardens.
And if you had not been recruited, what would have happened instead?
I would have turned into a drooling lunatic, slaughtered the Grand Cleric, and run through the streets of Denham in my small clothes, I guess.
Your self-awareness does you credit.
I thought you'd like that.
But yeah, you can't have large numbers of people around water like this. They're going to foul it up and get sick. It's not sanitary, and they don't have enough shelter. What if it rains with all these people here? It'll be a muddy morass of misery. And yeah, they've got to get these people out of here. They've got to find a way to get these people out of here.
So, let me get this straight. You were a cloistered sister?
Oh, wait.
You must have been a brother before you became a Templar.
Let me check
No?
something first.
I never actually became a Templar. I was recruited into the Grey Wardens before I took my...
How dare you accuse me of thievery?
Sorry.
I saw you take the supplies from my car.
I hope there's no fight.
You marsh folk are all thieves and liars.
Oh, that's not fair.
Enough! People here are already desperate and frightened. They don't need you two coming to blows. But what about my food? I said enough!
We fought the Darkspawn in the wilds, but we never had a chance.
The carnage we left in the wilds was horrifying.
You do not seem a refugee. Are you part of the army?
In the wilds we're eaten. Here we starve. Is there no end to our fortune?
You do not seem a refugee. Are you part of the
The
army?
carnage we left in the
You do not
wilds
seem
was
a refugee.
horrifying.
Are you part of the army?
Okay.
Starit, Merade Twasit, Abana Kyun, Maras Shokra, Anan Sam Kyun. You aren't one of my captors.
I remember the revered mother mentioning this man. She called him a savage from the far north.
I have nothing to say that would amuse a dwarf. Leave me in peace.
You're a prisoner. Who put you here?
I'm in a cage, am I not? I've been placed here by the Chantry.
The revered mother said he slaughtered an entire family, even the children.
It is as she says. I am Sten of the Beresad, the vanguard of the Kunari peoples.
I am Natia. Pleased to meet you.
You mock me. Or you show manners I have not come to expect in your lands. Though it matters little now. I will die soon enough.
This is a proud and powerful creature, trapped as prey for the Darkspawn. If you cannot see a use for him, I suggest releasing him for mercy's sake alone.
Mercy? I wouldn't have expected that from you.
I would also suggest that Alistair take his place in the cage.
Yes, that's what I would have expected.
I suggest you leave me to my fate.
What did you do to end up in here?
I have been convicted of murder. Have the villagers not spoken
I've heard
of this?
mention of it. Who did you murder?
The people of a farmhold. 8 humans, in addition to the children.
Are you guilty?
Are you asking if I feel guilt or if I am responsible for the deed? However I feel, whatever I've done, my life is forfeit now.
If you feel guilty about the murder, why did you do it?
Either you have an enviable memory or a pitiable life to know nothing of regret.
Oh, fuck you. You smart-ass son of a bitch. Trust me, I know all about fucking regret. Whole life is one big batch of regret. Oh, but I never did what you did. Oh, I need a moment for this. I know all about fucking regret. I had a day full of regret just now. Just before today, when I thought, never mind. Regret when I was growing up watching what Rika had to do. Regret and regret upon regret. Capturing you must have been difficult.
There is no difficulty in capturing prey that surrenders.
You didn't resist capture?
I waited for several days until the knights arrived.
Why?
Because I wished to.
How long have you been in here?
20 days now. I shouldn't last much longer, another week at most.
That's a long time to live without food or water.
Compared to your kind, maybe.
Aren't you interested in seeking atonement?
Death will be my atonement.
There are other ways to redeem yourself.
Perhaps. What does your wisdom say is equal to my crime?
I think Morrigan is onto something, and I need people to fight for me. You could help me defend the land against the Blight.
The Blight? Are you a Grey Warden, then?
Why do you ask?
My people have heard legends of the Grey Warden's strength and skill. Though I suppose not every legend is true.
Gee, thanks. Would the revered mother let you free?
Perhaps if you told her the Grey Wardens need my assistance. It seems as likely to bring my death as waiting here.
I'll leave you for now.
Farewell, then.
To be left here to starve? Or to be taken by the Darkspawn? No one deserves that. Not even a murderer.
We need people to...
What do you need?
To fight for us. More importantly. We need people to fight for us. Okay. No idea what we'll do next. I mean, we're helping the people to an extent, but they really... Fundamentally, we cannot alter this situation. They need to get out of here. Sten. Either you have an enviable memory or a pitiable life to know nothing of regret. Gee, thanks. I know all about regret. The northern islands are remote. Lush jungles that harbor cities rumored to be the most extraordinary ever built. These are the lands of the Kunari, lands that no foreign eyes ever see. Only the stories of the 3 exalted marches waged against the giants have reached the south, until the arrival of Sten. The stoic giant in the cage was surely the strangest thing the people of Lothering had ever seen, until the blight struck. I don't know about that. I don't think there's anything strange. He's just a tall person, essentially.
And Eileen spoke unto the masses, my hearth is yours, my bread is yours, my life is yours. For all who walk in the sight of the Maker are one.
Who are you exactly? Smile back.
Let all repeat the chant of light. Only the word dispels the darkness upon us.
He can't answer you. He's Chanter Devons.
What's a chanter?
One of them that can only say the chant of light. His board has letters of good deeds to be doing. My father fixed Widow Allison's roof once, and the charter paid him, he did.
A learned child is a blessing upon his parents and onto the Maker.
So, it's like a vow of silence then? He can't talk normally?
Unless it's the chant of light, no.
And so Rajmael in the heathen temple recanted. Speak only the word, sing only the chant, then the golden city is thine, spoke Andraste.
Have anything of interest on the board?
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
Okay. Bandits, bandits everywhere, as transcribed on behalf of Sir Bryant, Templar and Defender of the Faith. Know that all those who prey upon refugees do so under pain of death. The Maker spurns bandits and their kind. The Templars offer a sizable reward for the apprehension or execution of the bandit leaders plying their trade in the northern wood and roads. Beware, the bandits are numerous and of considerable skill. Only a well-armed and well-trained party should have buried the deep wood. We pray for the success of any who undertake this mission. Residents of good standing and passing travelers have indicated there are 3 bandit groups in the northern wood. This humble chanter would echo Sir Bryant's caution, lest you wind up another victim to these evil men. The reward for such service is 3 sovereigns. May the Maker look after his children in this hour of need. Okay, that's good. Here's the thing.
The legions of evil are on your doorstep. They will feast upon our hearts. There is nowhere to run. This evil will cover the world like a plague of locusts.
Please, you're scaring the children.
Yes, you are the last.
Better to slit their throats now than let them suffer at darkspawn hands. There! One of their minions is already amongst us. This woman bears their evil stench. Can you not see the vile blackness that fills her?
Why don't you keep your voice down? This is not helping.
I watch the Black Horde descend on my people. I will not be silent.
Please stop. Somebody shut his mouth.
But isn't he right? The ban left us. We're going to die.
This minion is but the first of those who will destroy us.
You poor man, what happened to you?
My family, my clan. Those creatures butchered them all. Some of us fled here, but we cannot escape the darkspawn.
You have an axe with which you can fight. These people need someone to fight and defend for them. I've seen other Chasen who can fight. You should be helping these people to organize so they can get the hell out of here as soon as possible. It must have been horrible. How did you escape?
I ran, hearing my wife's screams as they dragged her off. She had hair the same color as yours.
Great. Thanks to hearing that. You're not honoring her death by acting like this.
Are you calling me a coward?
Calling you an idiot. Listen to yourself for a moment.
I have shamed my ancestors, but the blackness will come.
He was right, wasn't he? There's no hope for us.
There's always hope. Muster your courage.
You're right. We can't give up.
But we can't fight. What are we supposed to do?
We can't lie down and die either.
Right.
We must go north to Denerim.
Exactly. Yes. Leave. Get organized and get the out of here as soon as possible. And Chancey, brother, you're supposed to work for people.
There is no hope.
Shut up. And you
Maybe with that blasted chasing gone, my headache will go as well.
You should have done something about him, you fool.
It's good to see you again, Sister Leliana.
Thank you, Sir Meteran.
Did you know there were bandits on the highway?
Were? Did you drive them off? Well, Sir Brian will appreciate that.
Can you tell me about the caged Kunari?
Is he still alive? The revered mother put him there a few weeks back. He'll be dead soon enough.
Who's in charge of this chantry?
The revered mother runs the chantry itself, and Sir Brian heads the Templars stationed here.
Have you heard any news?
Not since Tairn Loghain passed by with his army. It's a shame about the king. But with the Darkspawn coming, few can think of anything else.
Okay, goodbye.
Make her watch over you.
There's word of Darkspawn straggling. No sign of the main horde. We are the only hope of protection of Skeleton. Not abandoned. That is all.
Good for you, Sir Brian.
Have mercy on us.
The first blight. Thedas is a land of fierce diversity, from the assassin princes of Antiva to the fated griffins of the Anderfells. But in my travels I have found one tale that unites the people of this land. It is a story of pride and damnation, and although the telling differs, the essence of the tale remains the same. At the height of its power, the Tevinter Imperium stretched over much of Thedas, uniting the known world under the rule of the tyrannical Magisters. It is said that the old gods whom the Magisters worshipped gave them the knowledge of blood magic, and the Magisters used this forbidden power to cement their rule. The blood of elven slaves and humans alike ran down imperial altars to fuel Magister greed. That's awful. Terrible. The tales of their excess is so horrifying that one can only be grateful that blood magic is prohibited today. But all that stands tall must eventually fall. Perhaps they foresaw their ruin, or perhaps their pride knew no bounds, but whatever the reason, the Magisters dared to open a magical portal into the dark golden city at the heart of the Fade. They sought to usurp the Maker's throne, long left unattended in the golden city, after the Maker turned his back on his creations. They would storm heaven itself with their power and become as gods. This is what the Chantry, in its off-exercised tendency to understate, refers to as the second sin. Yeah. A very amusing response about its off-exercised tendency to understate. According to most versions of the tale, the Magisters did indeed reach the Golden City and walked into the home of the Maker, where no living being before them had dared or been able to tread. But humanity is not meant to walk in heaven. The Magisters were wicked with pride and other sins, and their presence tainted the Golden City. What was once a perfect holy citadel became a twisted home of darkness and nightmares. The Magisters were expelled back through their gateway and cursed for their treachery. As the Golden City had been tainted, so were the Magisters twisted and transformed into things of darkness, the very first of the Darkspawn. The Golden City, once a shining beacon at the heart of the Fade, became the Black City, a reminder of all that mankind's pride has lost. From Tales of the Destruction of Thedas by Brother Genitivi, Chantry Scholar. So, according to the Maker, our people suffer because of some idiotic mages from Tevinter and what those idiots did. Thanks, Tevinter. I really appreciate how you screwed up my entire civilization and have almost led to it being wiped out. Thanks a lot.
Yes, my lady? Who might you be?
Hello, Sir Bryant. I am the Grey Warden Natia.
I see. I am Sir Bryant, commander of the Lothering Templars. Tairn Loghain declared all Grey Wardens traitors responsible for the king's death. You know this, I hope.
The Grey Wardens did know such things.
I don't believe the Grey Wardens would be as careless or malicious as the Tairn claims. But either way, there it is. It is best you not linger, though. Just in case.
Okay. Are you in charge here?
The revered mother leads this flock. I merely command her Templars. Normally, our role is to protect the Chantry and seek out unsanctioned magic. For now, it is all we can do to protect the innocent.
And if you found an unsanctioned mage?
Let us pretend that I was such a mage. What would you do to me?
I have no time to even think about such things right now.
Good man.
My concern is protecting these people. I see nothing threatening them other than the Darkspawn.
Good man. How do Templars fight against magic?
We have more than swords at our disposal. We're taught to dispel unholy magics as well. If only our powers work to keep away the Darkspawn. Alas, it is not so.
Are you the only protection this village has?
Our ban was summoned by Sten Lothering, and he took his soldiers north with him. Lothering has been abandoned.
Where would I find the revered mother?
In her study, no doubt. Preparing what she will take when we eventually evacuate.
You need to evacuate sooner rather than later. Tell me something else.
If the matter is important, certainly.
What can you tell me about the imprisoned Kunari?
I was there at the farmhold. The beast stood there, wet with the blood of the children. He didn't even deny slaughtering them. The revered mother ordered him caged. She has more mercy than I do. But perhaps she is right, and the Maker has love for all his creations, even the Kunari.
You can't blame all of them for this one guy. Is there a way he could be released?
You can ask the revered mother. I say let him rot until the Darkspawn claim him.
Have you heard any recent news?
Other than the Darkspawn horde bearing down on us?
Good
None
point.
of it is good. Sten Lothering is set to declare himself king, I hear. Disaster piled on disaster.
King Kalen had no heir?
None that we know of. Sten Lothering has no legitimate claim on the throne. He may be a hero, and his daughter may be queen, but he is a commoner, and the king's corpse is barely cold. If Arl Eamon was able to intervene, perhaps it would not have gone this far. I do not care who takes the throne. Only fools fight over who owns a cottage while it burns down around them.
I've nothing else to ask.
No, unless there's something else you need.
Things seem very dire in the village.
They are. With the ban having taken his men north, the village is left to its fate. We will evacuate as many as we can before the horde reaches us. I will stay as long as I'm needed.
You guys gotta move faster.
Unless there's something else you need.
I need some information.
If the matter is important, certainly.
I've nothing else to ask.
No, unless there's something else you need.
Is there any other help you can offer?
I cannot openly help you, I fear, but here, take this key. It opens the large cabinet on the far wall. There is more there than we can carry when we evacuate, so take what you need.
Thank you very much. About those bandits outside the village.
Maker's breath, how many times must we drive them off?
They won't bother you again. I killed them.
All of them? By yourself?
Yep.
It's true. I saw it from my post. It was over so fast we didn't even have time to get over there.
Sad that it needed to come to that. But then they asked for it. Will you accept a small reward for your service?
I could keep an eye out for trouble for the right pay.
I wish I could afford such help, to be truthful. Take your reward at any rate. It is all I have to offer.
Thank
you. If it interests you, there is a Chanters board outside full of quests that need doing. The Chanters even offer pay for some of them. Now, unless there's something else you need.
I should go. Thank you, Sir Bryant.
Travel safely, and may the Maker watch over you.
I like you, Sir Bryant. You're a good guy, and that's one of the reasons why I want you to get out of here as soon as possible. Okay.
Who? I beg your pardon. I did not see you approach.
Sir Donald? Is that you?
You guys know each other.
By the Maker, how are you? I was
Wow.
certain you were dead.
Not yet. No thanks to Sten Lothering.
If Arl Eamon were well, he'd set Lothering straight soon enough.
But if Arl Eamon is sick, why are you here?
Our only hope now is a miracle. Every knight of Redcliffe has gone in search of the Urn of Sacred Ashes. Andraste's ashes are said to cure any illness. But I fear we are chasing a fable.
Yeah.
With each day, my hope dims.
Tell me more about this Urn of Sacred Ashes.
Supposedly, the urn contains the ashes of the prophetess Andraste. Surely you know all this.
Well, I'm a dwarf. We dwarves, I know a little bit, but I want to hear what you know. We dwarves don't learn much about your religion.
If you're truly interested, there are books here containing a great deal of lore.
Fair enough.
Nothing I have found leads me to believe that this was anything more than a quest of desperation. I intend to return to Redcliffe soon and tell the Arlessa exactly that, once Sir Henrik arrives.
I was hoping to. So your quest for the ashes brought you here?
I expected to take advantage of the Chantry's library, in fact, but my skills are better suited to battle than chasing down tales.
I was hoping to meet Al Eamon, in fact.
Why is that, if I may ask?
We need his help against Tarn Logain.
I see. The Arl is a popular man, it's true. Tarn Logain, however, is a hero throughout Ferelden. Whatever the Tarn has done or not done, the Arl remains ill, or worse. That is my primary concern.
Do you think Logain is involved with the Arl's illness?
The Arl fell ill before the king died. But what if Logain planned that too? Oh, such thoughts do not sit well with me.
We should see what's happening in Redcliffe ourselves. I believe that now more than ever.
If nothing else, I am certain you would be welcomed at Castle Redcliffe. The Arlessa is there, and she could tell you more than I could.
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't you be fleeing the Darkspawn?
My mission takes priority. But I fear I shall be returning to Redcliffe with nothing to show for my efforts.
Good work. You good, upstanding soldier. Set on a mission. You did the best you could. I get it. It's too bad I couldn't be the one studying this library for all the weeks. Even if I didn't find anything, it would be fun to read all these books and learn about things. Play at being a shaper. Essentially be a shaper. Your friend Sir Henrik is dead. I have something of his.
What? And you have his locket? And a note? Maker's mercy.
Sorry.
Thank you for giving me these. I would never have known otherwise.
Is there a reward, perhaps? I mean,
a reward? Oh, of course. I hope a sovereign is sufficient.
Yes.
Thank you. I wonder how many of us have met similar fates on this mad quest.
I should go.
With Henrik gone, I need to return to Redcliffe. Perhaps later I will seek out the scholar his note mentions.
Wait.
But I must go.
Yeah.
Thank you again,
Good
my
old
lady.
genitive.
You have been most helpful.
And when the Maker spoke, a chant of light scattered in the darkness.
Only one person witnessed Mathrath's betrayal, Harvard the Aegis. A childhood friend of Mathrath, he accompanies Chief to the meeting with the Tevinters, not realizing what was planned. When he understood that Mathras was giving Andraste over to be executed, Harvard, unwilling to draw swords against his friend and liege, placed himself between Andraste and the Tevinter soldiers. The Tevinters struck him down and Mathras left him for dead. Okay, I think I've already read that. Oh. No matter the chant of light, the blight. No matter their power, their triumphs, the mage lords of Tevinter were men, and doomed to die. Then a voice whispered within their hearts, "Shall you surrender your power to time like the beasts of the field? You are the lords of the earth. Go forth to claim the empty throne of heaven and the gods." In secret, they worked, magic upon magic, all their power and all their vanity. They turned against the veil, until at last it gave way. Above them a river of light, before them the throne of heaven waiting. Beneath their feet the footprints of the Maker, and all around them echoed a vast silence. But when they took a single step toward the empty throne, a great voice cried out, shaking the very foundations of heaven and earth. "And so the golden city blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Violently were they cast down, for no mortal may walk boldly in the realm of dreams, bearing the mark of their crime, bodies so maimed and distorted that none should see them and know them for men. Deep into the earth they fled, away from the light. In darkness eternal they searched for those who had goaded them on, until at last they found their prize, their god, their betrayer, the sleeping dragon Dumat. Their taint twisted even the false god, and the whisperer awoke at last in pain and horror, and led them to wreak havoc upon all the nations of the world. Their first blight, from Serenines 8.
Word despair, fear, and ignorance. Let those who cry out from the shadows be comforted. Let those who seek redemption be delivered. Let those who have sinned be forgiven.
And when the chant spreads across all four corners of the world, let it rise at last to the ears of the Maker. Let him hear our unwavering faith. Let him hear our righteous dedication and enduring perseverance.
And then shall the Maker return to us. And then shall the Maker return to the Black City in heaven. And then shall the chant of light make it pure. Let all mankind be humbled. Let all repeat the chant of light. Only the word dispels the darkness upon us.
And when the Maker spoke, a chant of light scattered in the darkness. The word dispelled fear and ignorance. Let those who cry out from the shadows be comforted. Let those who seek redemption be delivered. Let those who have sinned be forgiven. And when the chant spreads across all four corners of the world, let it rise at last to the ears of the Maker. Let him hear our unwavering faith. Let him hear our righteous dedication and enduring perseverance.
And then shall the Maker return to us.
It is begun.
Okay, that's good. We got a lot of health
And then
bonuses.
shall the Maker return to the Black City in heaven. And then shall the chant of light make it pure. Let all mankind be humbled. Let all repeat the chant of light.
I want to go home.
Only
I brought my family to Lothering because I thought it would be safe.
And when the Maker
And
spoke,
on what we left,
the chant
prepare
of
the
light
chantry's
scattered
vestments
in the
before we
darkness.
flee. There is very little
Word
time.
dispelled fear
I
and
can't
ignorance.
believe that Kumari
those who
creature
cry out
isn't
from
dead
the
yet.
shadows
Uh-huh.
come. Those who seek redemption,
What now?
those who have
Okay.
be forgiven.
Well, Leliana, well, Morrigan, I know you won't like this, but we gotta go have a conversation with
Let him
somebody.
hear our unwavering faith. Let him hear our righteous dedication.
As you say.
Okay.
Then shall the chant of light make it pure. Let all mankind be humble.
Okay.
Let all repeat the chant of light. Word dispels the darkness.
Good day, Sister Leliana. I'm surprised to see you're still in Lothering.
It is good to see you as well, Your Reverence.
I do not recognize your companion. Greetings. Will you be making a donation to the Chantry? Our need has never been greater.
What tithe is acceptable?
Might I suggest 30 silver?
Fine. Very well, 30 silver it is. I need to get along with her, and if this helps me with the Kunari, I'll do it.
Thank you, dear woman. What can I do for you then?
I want to talk about Sten, the Kunari you imprisoned.
It might have been kinder to execute him, but I leave his fate to the Maker. Why does he interest you?
What did he do?
He butchered an entire farmhold. Only one of the youngest hid long enough to survive. The child said his father had found the Kunari gravely wounded and took him in. That kindness was repaid with murder. The bandsman found the Kunari just standing amidst the carnage. He did not resist them.
Are you certain he did it?
He confessed quite readily, but would give no reason for the crime. Even the seasoned knights who apprehended him were disturbed by the carnage. However docile he appears, do not be fooled. That Kunari is a danger.
Is it... What if this causes an incident with his people?
The Maker demands justice.
That's true.
Regardless of his race.
That's true. Is there any way I can convince you to release him?
Then his next victims might count you and me as their murderers.
I understand. I was thinking you might release him into my custody.
And what do you say on this, Leliana? You know your friend better than I.
These are unusual times, Your Reverence. With us, the Kunari might do some good. I am sure of it, in fact.
Were things not so desperate? Very well, I trust you. Take these keys to his cage and make her watch over you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Your Reverence. Your trust is not misplaced.
Thanks, Leliana. There's one thing I'm going to do now. And this really isn't... Morgan will be amused by it. And I'm curious as to what this is. I don't mind it when they do this. It's more for Leliana and Alistair and even Dog.
What can I do for you now?
I'm a Grey Warden. I need your help.
A Grey Warden? Here? Oh dear. You put me in a difficult position. You must know that Tairn Loghain declared the Grey Wardens to be outlaws.
So I've heard, but it is Loghain who betrayed the king.
Tairn Loghain? That is as hard for me to believe as his condemnation of the Wardens. There is a price on your head. Lay low, and I promise to keep your presence a secret. That is the best I can do.
Okay.
Now, if there is nothing else...
Can you provide any help to Grey Wardens at all?
I cannot help you without risking the safety of this village in Chantry. The best I can do is keep your presence a secret. I am sorry. Now, if there is nothing else...
This is for Leliana and Alistair, perhaps even Dog. I was hoping to receive a blessing.
For a Grey Warden? Yes. You have a difficult road to walk, don't you?
And thanks for giving us Sten.
In Andraste's name, I call upon the Maker to watch over his child and creation. Watch over her path, O Maker. Give her light in darkness. So let it be. Now, if there is nothing else...
Perhaps you should go.
May the Maker guard you, Grey Warden.
The truth of the matter is I don't believe in this Maker. And I know that Morrigan doesn't either. But I wanted to see two things. First off, and there are things about this that I don't like in terms of certain... I don't know whether... I think they have animosity with the mages that interferes with getting things done. Like when I saw at the planning table, when you actually had one of these chantry people saying, "Oh, don't use the mages. We don't need your magic," even though yes, you do. This is a war, and that's a valuable asset. And I experienced that with the Circle Mage and with Morrigan. So, and we're well aware of it. And it was particularly when the Darkspawn used magic against us, and we can't use it back. So yeah, we do need that magic. But I did it for Leliana, Alistair, and I think even Dog. I think Dog may not... He doesn't believe in the Maker, but he likes the attention. It means a lot to Leliana. It means something to Alistair, even if he's not really religious. As for Morrigan and I, it was interesting to see Morrigan's reaction, where she basically pretended and did the same thing I did. It is nice to be given the attention, and it does make them feel better too, the person doing it. And they are in charge of trying to get everyone out of here. I was pleased when they said they were trying to get the vestments ready to leave. Because if they're getting rid of that stuff, then this chantry will hopefully getting off its butt and doing more to get as many people out of here as soon as possible before disease sets in, misery sets in. The Darkspawn catch up to this place.
They say your mother is Flemeth, a witch of the Kokari Wilds.
They also say that washing your feet in winter makes you catch cold in the head, but we all know that is not true. But sometimes they are right. And they are right in this.
You know the stories about...
Of course. You think my mother would let me go without telling me all the stories of her youth?
My mother told me stories too. She was the one who kindled my love of the old tales and legends.
My mother's stories curdled my blood and haunted my dreams. No little girl wants to hear about the wilder men her mother took to her bed, using them till they were spent, then killing them. No little girl wants to be told that this is also expected of her once she comes of age.
Ouch.
I see.
No, you don't. You really don't.
And I'm glad you don't, Leliana. I don't think that would be good for you. Okay.
You wish something more of me?
I have the key to open your cage.
I confess, I did not think the priestess would part with it.
She agreed to release you into my custody.
So be it. Set me free and I will follow you against the Blight.
Very well. I'll let you out.
And so it is done. I will follow you into battle. In doing so, I shall find my atonement.
Thank you, Sten. Glad to have you with us.
May we proceed? I am eager to be elsewhere.
Okay.
Blast and damnation.
Yes. Oh, blast it.
Blood and damnation.
Alright, so...
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing certain things, dealing with certain people in the village for a moment, where I don't trust Morrigan, given her duster animal perspective. Duster predator perspective. Because she looks at things from the perspective of a predator. She thinks like a predator. She thinks like a predator, so there's certain things I'm going to do which she may not approve of. And then once I get out of the town and go to combat, I'm going to switch it back. But for now, I have to give you something to fight with. And... yeah, we got some stuff we'll be selling. Now, this Dwarven War Axe. Now, the steel axe that they got fashion, that was better. Okay, Sten.
It is done.
As you wish.
No, she doesn't. Okay. Okay.
Back off. I have the right to charge what I wish.
You profit from their misfortune. I should have the Templars give away everything in your carts.
You wouldn't dare. Any of you step too close to my goods and I'll...
It's so nice to see everyone working together in a crisis. Warms the heart.
Oh, you there. You look able. Would you care to make a tiny profit helping a beleaguered businessman?
Why would I want... Is your profiteering ruffling some feathers?
You could say that, yes.
The nerve of these people!
He is charging outlandish prices for things people desperately need. Their blood is filling his pockets. There's been so many of these men lately. Heartless opportunists, all.
Then kill him and take what you need. I fail to see the problem.
I have limited supplies. The people decide what those supplies are worth to them.
You bought most of your wares from these very people last week. Now they flee for their lives, and you want to talk business?
Look, stranger, I've 100 silvers if you drive this rabble off, starting with that priest. I'm an honest merchant, nothing more.
You don't think you're being unscrupulous?
Would it help these folks if they could buy no goods at all?
They spend their very last coin because they are desperate, and this man preys upon them as surely as the bandits outside the city.
Ah, I'm not arguing anymore. Drive off this woman and get your 100 silvers. Otherwise, I'm taking my wagon and leaving.
Honestly, the best choice is something similar to Sten without killing it. Would be taking it and then distributing it to the community, given the nature of this war and conflict, given the nature that people need supplies. Just the pure situation. But, given what I've got available to me, I think you could compromise and still make a profit, right?
Perhaps. If that woman agrees I'm allowed to charge something.
Do what you must, so long as the prices do not beggar the needy.
Fine, fine, done. And since you don't look too needy, normal prices for you.
A fine compromise. Thank you for your generous assistance. May the Maker watch over your path.
Okay.
Vashaden.
Indeed. Where to now?
Right.
Okay, Leliana. Alright.
Don't suppose you're looking to buy something.
I am indeed. Let's see what you have.
All right. Just don't buy everything up.
Well, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll come back for him. The situation is over time.
Because I still don't have food to sell.
Show me what you got. Okay. We're gonna have to sell that soon. Okay. Okay, we made it up to 6 with some change.